struggle, and I still do as an adult woman, a professional woman. Can I wear my hair the way I want to wear my hair? Because you're always concerned about, what people's opinion is going to be. Will I be perceived as less than professional or less than? And always that guiding thought of being enough, being prepared, being better than. It pushes you all the time, even when you want to just be like, stop. Enough is enough. And I think for me also, as a dark complected woman, it is really a struggle where, it's like you have to let people know you have to be nice when you don't want to be nice. Because people want to put this perception on you that you must be an angry black woman. If you come across with any of those kind of pushbacks, you're automatically going to get this, she's just angry. And heaven forbid I put my hair in braids or wear it natural, then I'm really the angry black woman. So
those are a lot of challenges just in itself that you kind of have to navigate through as you're thinking. And really we're making assumptions about what other people might be thinking, because we really don't know. We really don't know. I'm getting all into it. I'm not even talking in the mic. She has to remind me.
Stay forward, facing the mic. Okay. And I want to go back to First Lady when she talked about code switching, because I just talked about this yesterday. I went to a training, racial equity training that IPS does, and so we were talking about, what do you love about being black? What do you love about being white? And for, of course, white people, they are so blind to what we go through just as people of color. And so I brought that up. I said, y'all don't understand, just going to work is stressful as a black woman, because we have to, as First Lady said, we can't say certain things. We got to make sure that this person like us. If we say something, they take it wrong. We have to make sure the white woman likes us. We got to make sure the white man likes us. So it becomes stressful, literally, to the point where it affects your health physically, when you're always having to worry about how are the other people perceiving who I am as a black woman. For sure. So I think that's very good.
Because we're always angry.
Yeah.
Why can't I just be firm and stern in my delivery?
Exactly.
Why does it have to come across that I'm angry or that I'm upset to get my point across with you? I feel like I have to sugarcoat my words quite frequently, depending on my clientele that I'm serving. So if I'm talking to a Caucasian woman, if I'm talking to a Caucasian man, make sure, you focus on what I'm saying and not what you see.
Exactly.
And then that becomes difficult. And I think it's a coincidence when you were talking, it does start, like, we have the responsibility of being the oldest. That is one of the things I connected with Tia, and then you said the same thing. And Cassandra, it's like, it started from the beginning.
It started in the womb. It really does.
And you never outgrow it.
You don't.
Absolutely. So as we think about this, so what's your secret weapon? What's your mantra? What do you tell yourself? How do you navigate through it? How do you still stand tall? You still rise to the occasion. You're still keeping it forward, moving it forward. You are elegant. Gosh, you guys are beautiful. And I wish y'all could see how pretty these women are in the room today. And you still look good. So what's your secret weapon? What do you do?
I got a lot of them. When it comes to mantras, I think there's a lot of them. So one is you look good, you feel good, right? Okay. Sometimes you got to fake it, right? Like honestly, I get up no matter what the day calls for. I make my face up. I put some clothes on. If it's a workout gear, I try not to have anything in my closet that I don't love. Put on something that makes you feel good. So that's part of it. But that's one of the minor ones. Yeah. I think empowered women is kind of one of my ones of late, because as I get older, that's really starting to resonate with me. I think I've been doing that my whole life with my sisters, but really, who are we in the workplace and in the organizations where we serve, empowering one another? Because the world will have us believe that there can only be one of us who's a success.
Exactly.
And we have to empower one another. But I think one, and this is something that Susan Taylor, who is the former editor of Essence Magazine, said to me probably in my late 20s, early 30s, when all of those hats were really culminating, the career, the mom, the wife, all of that. And she said, you have to give yourself to you before you give yourself away. And I have never let that leave me, regardless of how many hats I'm wearing. Now, sometimes it does get overwhelming. I have to remind myself, of that.
Mm-hmm. So say that again.
You have to give yourself to you.
Give yourself to you.
Before you give yourself away.
Before you give yourself
And think about that. That's giving yourself to you in mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
You know, being able to take that still, quiet time where only the Lord, that inner voice, is coming through to you. You don't get that when you run a gazillion miles an hour.
Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's a huge one for me. And she had shared, as another busy woman who wore a lot of hats, she had shared at a conference that I was at that she was getting ready to go on a trip and, you know, had this big photo shoot and literally walked into a glass wall and hurt herself before this trip because her mind is going to and you know, and that's when it kind of hit her. I'm giving myself to everybody else in this world and not taking care of me, which is huge.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So, First Lady, you mentioned that you have a special son. Share with us just what are some of the challenges that you've gone through, and what have you said to yourself about, can I do this? Can I keep it going? I mean, I have so many things that I'm responsible for. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well,
what keeps you strong?
I found out at 25 weeks that he was going to be born with some serious issues. Actually, I had my heels on doing cafeteria duty at the middle school, you know, handling my business. And the strong black woman that I am, I drove myself to the hospital. I didn't tell my boss. Things started really shifting for me there. You know, Jeremiah's birth really made me look at life differently. And it happened for a reason. Yeah. Because, yes, I was on the fast track up, but who was I leaving behind? And I had to make the decision. And my husband and I, we had to decide were we going to give birth to this amazing baby. But it was going to be a difficult task ahead. Or many people may have said, I can't do it. Yeah. And they make the other decision. I'm not the person to judge. But at that moment, I knew my life was going to be different. And you would think that I would have left my career, came home, stayed and took care of him. I did the exact opposite. I started working on my master's degree while he was a baby. I ran for Pike Township when he was 1. I became a principal when he was 4. And I was but that was my way of dealing with the pressure at home, because now I share a lot of things that people didn't know. He never slept. He would cry and scream for hours. He has a genesis of the corpus callosum. Okay. A part of his brain is missing, so the connector between the right hemisphere and left hemisphere is not there. Okay. He also has colpocephaly. The left hemisphere is damaged in his brain, which causes him to have epilepsy. And we have him under the autism umbrella to receive services. So he needs 24 hours a day care. He can never be left alone. And God has taught me so much through him. Yes. He did, because when I had to step away from the school system, God said, okay, I'll let you taste it all. Now it's time for you to prioritize. God is so awesome. He said, I'm going to let you taste it. I'll let you taste all this success. Now are you going to continue raising other people's children and not raise your own?
Yeah, wow.
So we're going to take a commercial break because I just got a heads up from my engineer. So we're going to go pay some bills, and we will be back. You're tuned in to Let's Go There with Sassy C and Tia.
When you have a growing family, other things in your life start getting bigger too, like your home.
Can't wait for the new deck! What?
And especially your bills.
That'll be $249.86.
Oh.
But with Allstate, the amount you can save is getting bigger too. Because right now, when you bundle coverage for your car, home, motorcycle, and more, you can save up to 30%.
Call Adrian Smiley today at 317-228-0707.
Teamworks. We back? Oh, okay. Okay, so we are back with Sassy C and Tia. Let's go there. And we were talking to First Lady before we went to break about just her challenges of raising her special needs son. You would have, I would say, being a member of New Life, I would have never known everything that First Lady was going through, because she carried herself so gracefully, and she still loved on the people. It didn't stop her from loving on us. It didn't stop her from pouring into us. And when she was having a bad day, we would never know. So I just think that's a testament to her strength and her resilience of just being able to still continue. Because I know there's some days she probably was like, I don't feel like going. So you go on, Pastor, I'm going to stay home.
It was really rough. Yeah. And one thing I share with women, I got help. I didn't go to a pastor. I didn't go to a pastor's wife. I went to a Jewish female psychiatrist. And it was one of those, because I was the type, I would cry in my car, or I would cry in the shower, put my face back on, let's handle this business, because that's how we were raised. I got things to take care of. I don't have time.
Put your best foot
You know,
forward.
I have to continue to do that. And I remember the first session, she said, you're going to stay or you're going to run. And she had to take me all the way back to my childhood to determine, why do you do that? Why do you feel like you have to handle everything and solve everybody's problem? And she said, you don't give yourself time to feel.
That's good.
That's powerful.
What does that mean? Unpack that for us. What does she mean by you don't give yourself enough time to feel?
Because in my culture, the way you was raised, that made you seem weak.
Exactly.
And I always felt like my mother was weak. Because when my father left, she lost it all. She had a nervous breakdown. I became mom. I took care of the boys. And I felt like my father broke her. But I felt like she allowed him to do that. And then my mom said, you let a man break you. I will never let a man break me. So this became my mindset at 10. And I was determined. And even at that age, I would cry by myself. I would never show my true. To this day, one of my friends I've had for 38 years, known since 3rd grade, she looked at me and she said, well, Alicia, nothing ever bothers you. You handle everything. And to see even 38 years later, that is the perception that I have given that you can't feel.
And that can put you in a lonely space as a woman.
People
don't understand that. That can isolate you when people put that on you, that strength, because you don't want to look like what you're going through, because you've been raised like that, because you decide to get up and put clothes on every day and walk tall, and that confidence still is there. We still have issues and we still have things that we struggle with, but because we look the part, people think we are so strong and we can handle anything. Therefore, they don't check on their girlfriend sometimes. And we can be in the car crying, like you said, or at home crying our pillow out. And then when we wipe our tears, we get back in that car and we the same way. People don't know. We just had a nice breakdown at home.
And we do it for everybody else.
But we don't know
it for ourselves.
And sometimes,
I watched my mom do the opposite because my mom pretty much got abandoned at the altar when she was pregnant with me. Well, she was actually pregnant with my sister. She had me at 17, was pregnant with my sister at 19, and my dad literally left her and married another woman that he had pregnant. And so I watched that strength in her, which made me say, man will never do that to me, but it developed that same thing in me to the point my ex-husband used to say, you more the man in this relationship. You don't feel anything.
Right.
And I consider myself a sensitive person. Because my feelings get hurt. Now, I don't always show it. You don't see it in me acting out some other kind of way. But my whole family, those same words have been said about both of you, have been said about me. You tough. Things don't bother you. You can handle it. You're the strength. And I'm like, well, I get broke down. Who's going to be there for me? Because I need people there for me sometimes.
I've literally had conversations with God before I'd talk to family members and different things that bothered me. I said, God, make me cry today. I want some emotion to show. And I'm like, I'm going to be crying at the end of this conversation. And I can't. I can't. I just can't do it.
I gotta get so mad.
I gotta get so mad and angry.
And that's
or I'll cry for others.
Absolutely.
I'll cry in a movie.
But not for myself.
Right.
But not for me.
I was like, why haven't I shed a tear about this? What is wrong? And a friend of mine said, well, one, you've been through enough crap that you know to cry about things that matter.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, I don't tap into that emotion, especially when it's about me.
Yeah. So let me say something, ladies. This is a great conversation, and so we're talking about being strong, and what we're finding out is that we even in our strength, we still have to cry, and there's no shame in saying that. And actually, when we share that with other women, when we can say, you know what, I had to go in my car last night and cry, and to gain another step right forward. So I tell you that it is very healthy. So I want to introduce our next panelist, our guest here, Holland Bowden. She has joined the conversation, and I asked Holland to come here and share a little bit about herself, and she sort of represents the millennial in the room. Okay. Good afternoon, Holland.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
So my name is Holland Bolden. I work at Cummins. I've been in the Indy area for about 7 years. Went to Ball State University, but am a native, born and raised of South Bend, Indiana, and I'm just happy to be here. I got joined to the group through Tia and then met Cass through Tia as well.
Awesome.
So happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're so glad you're here. So we're just talking about challenges as being a black woman, right? Juggling it all, my goodness, and looking good doing it, right? Yeah. We gotta always add that piece in there. So anything from your perspective, Holland, in terms of just what are some challenges that you just face as a young woman in business, moving forward in your career?
Yeah, so just to be transparent, so I am 27.